So we've got two in the pipeline right now. One is a subdivision down in Wollongong. So it was an existing duplex, but it was on one title. And it was old 1950s, 1960s. So it was just easy money in that sense, or easy-ish. But so we've subdivided that, and now we're in the process. We're sort of weeks away now. So I'm just kind of getting all of the ticks and everything sorted before we can actually go to land titles. Land titles will take 4 weeks, but I wanted to get on the market before the end of the year. So I'm doing a contract subject to getting it split on land title. So photos were done on Monday. The turf went down. The turf goes down last Thursday. So yeah. Oh, and I've got another one in East Gosford. So that is a renovation project. So that's really exciting because it's like reno fits is what we normally do, except this one is the first time I've done the renovation with an architect. So I'm super excited about the architect thing. And I know it was a bit extravagant for this one, although it's got a view and you might be able to justify it. The love of property's always been there. Like I've always been on a property journey. But to be honest, it was actually, I hit a sort of a physical, mental, spiritual rock bottom. I hit the menopausal change in COVID. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening. It was all happening to the world. And it was a real bad point. And to get myself out of that hole, they make you, I realized that you needed a purpose. For the rest of your life, you need a purpose. And the best purpose to have is something that you link it to your passion. So it sounds like really obvious now, but it took me a while to actually get to that point where, right, okay, well, I want to do this. This is my purpose for the rest of my life. This is my passion. This is my purpose. This is what I'm going to do. It's being a tradie. So my husband and I have got a business, and so we're actually tradies. And I tell you what, to be on the other side of the coin here, it's just completely eye-opening for both sides of the business. For being a tradie, just things like, getting back to people, turning up, being reliable, do the job you say you're going to do what you say you're going to say, on that side of it, but also an appreciation of the market, appreciation of everything, of nuances in the market. That is to us, one of the biggest advantages that we've got is that we're also tradies, to be on the other side of the fence and, being able to figure out really clearly what we can and can't do ourselves, that kind of thing. Massive. Making sure you're living the dream, that you feel like you're living the dream. So sometimes you can get caught up in it all and you forget that, like for Karen and I, living the dream is being able to create a living from property full time. So that's not including the tradie business where we've got clients and stuff. So that's actually kind of just a business, albeit it's in the trade. So living the dream for us is working on our properties together ourselves, adding the value ourselves on our own properties. That's living the dream. And so sometimes you get so caught up in the, oh my God, the windows, oh, this is wrong. And you take the paint off and it's rotting and oh my God, this is just going. And you forget, I don't forget, actually, my husband every now and then kind of needs prodding. Darling, we're living the dream. Remember, we're living the dream. This is exactly the definition of living the dream. We're on the cool tools together here right now, stressing over all of the great stuff. We go and have a lunch. We pull down on the water if we want. If we get stressed out, seriously, we're living the dream. And yes, that answers your question. It's that. A low moment is actually how you define a low moment. So that's the first lesson. Is that because when I was thinking about it, I'm going, I couldn't think of a low moment. And then I'm going, well, that's obviously not even logical that you don't have any low moments. But I think it's how you define a low moment. So if I have to really think, with the second flip that we did in the Blue Mountains when we moved over here, the market moved on us. So we bought it. It was 3 months doing the renovation, loving it, learning it, living the dream on the tools. And by the time we got to sell it, it was the market had totally softened. So we ended up making for 6 months work, all like from end to end, both of us full time, we made about 45 grand. So we didn't lose, but I think that's probably a low point. But I think the lesson from that is, firstly, is how you frame it to yourself, because we could have been panicking all along, the market's going soft and all we're going to do, and this is, oh my God, we're trapped or something. Or you can just go, we learned so much from the market moving. So we just were realizing, I think the best lesson is you need to be nimble. Right, you need to be nimble, right? So to stop looking for the next flip, that's off the cards. That's when we started up the building company, because we knew that pivot needed to be, okay, so tradies is still making a fortune, so or still in demand. So that's when we pivoted over to that. And I think, so I think it's a mindset question. I think it's not dangerous is a strong word, but not cool is not a strong word. Not enjoyable to be thinking, oh, what was your worst point? You got to be... your property journey is hard and risky and big, and it's all consuming, but it's all everything in your bucket. So mindset is so massive. You need to be enjoying every moment, and I think you need to be really conscious that you need to be enjoying. If we either go on holidays with mum and dad, or we go back to the UK, because we're from Nottingham, or Carrot's from Nottingham, so we'll go back. You need to kind of really completely detach. So whether it's just going for an Airbnb for a weekend, or it's sort of 5 weeks in the UK, depending on how successful the last project was, it needs to be right. You need to just take a proper holiday, and that's when it does sink in. Oh my God, we have just been living the dream for like the last 3 months. Oh my God, it was rocky, but wow, here we are. And you need to change your whole space. A lot of this is intuitive, this whole journey, and so often you just go, even if it's talk to an agent or looking at property, you kind of get this feeling that something's not right, something just didn't sit well with you, or something like that. Don't let those go. What you need to do is, and my answer to the question, Doc, what I want you to listen to is that, yes, you answer you ask yourself the question, why? What did make me feel uncomfortable about that? Okay, so I thought the agent was giving me a bit of bullshit about here or there. Now, the important thing is not to ask yourself the first why, it's ask yourself the second why. So why did you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, because he was an asshole, or he said this, or I didn't believe this. So, and why was that important? Because I actually think it's the opposite. I think the market's doing this, and then it's the second why. They often teach you, ask the first why, and then they leave you with it. I was upset because the agent I didn't agree with the agent. The value is in the second why. Being on the tools together with my husband on our own property, like living there, even if it's boiling. Like yesterday we were doing a deck for a client, except she's a really good friend of mine, and so we were there, but it was kind of living the dream because we were together. It's that moment. Oh no, when we were doing so last weekend we had to do the fencing for this subdivision, and again my husband was slightly whinging because it's the weekend, and that's when he de-stretches. But we're putting up fences, so he's digging the holes and putting in the things, and I'm there with the gun putting the palings through, and I've got a smile on my face this big, because this is it. This is the definition of what we wanted, of the decades, doing an exact day like that. And so that to me is the perfect day. It's not in the office, it's not getting the deal, it's not selling it for a profit, it's none of those things. It's the physical, getting to be living the dream with my husband, adding value to properties, which is what we love. It's really hard when you've got a 9 to 5 or a job or a company, that's something that's pulling you. So if you're lucky enough to get to a point where, like, you're a true entrepreneur, that you get to do everything, not just the freedom to do everything on your timeline, but it's also emotionally get to do what you want to do in a day, and following the lead you want to do in a day, or following your hunch, or following up. It's that freedom, but also can't think of the word of it, but I think it's the entrepreneurial part of it as opposed to the property of it. Please, and and it's staggered. So when we came to England, 7 years ago, I think now, when only one of us could do it full time, the entrepreneur part. So he gave me the reins, and I've been doing my 10,000 hours to get to the point where I'm going to be able to pull him off. So, but if I had a day job, which I did try, to be honest, wasn't my cup of tea, even though it was in a real estate office. I just felt I was being pulled. I was being torn from what I should be doing.